Hi everyone, welcome back. We're moving on in Module 1, Topic 3, Lesson 3. We're into Activity 1 on page 137, Decimal Products. In this activity, you'll investigate strategies for multiplying decimals, our habits in mind. So we'll look for and make use of structure and look for and express regularity and repeated reasoning. I would like you to mark this right away. Give yourself a big note somehow. Read this, draw an arrow, a star, highlight it, whatever to draw your attention to it. Take note. Multiply decimals as you would with whole numbers, then place the decimal point in the product. We're going to place the decimal point here in the product in these, just kind of using some logic, which actually makes the job pretty easy. So let's dive right into it. So it says Kenji needs to calculate the area of the floor in a hallway of his house so he can buy new carpeting. The floor is 32 7/5 feet long and 7 5/10 feet wide. Now I do want to give a little disclaimer here in that people who are installing carpeting in your house are not going to use decimals in that form. They would say 32 3/4 feet long and 7 1/2 feet wide. So in this context, it'd be okay to read the numbers like that. Kenji said, I use estimation to help place the decimal point correctly in the product. Worked example. The area of the floor is 32 7/5 feet times 7. I'm going to use the talk of the contractor in this situation. It just makes sense in my brain to do that. 32 3/4 feet by 7 1/2 feet. He estimates the product. He says 32 3/4 is close to 30. And he says 7 1/2 is close to 7. So 30 times 7, he says my answer is going to be around 210. He said he also knows that even though the product will be close to 210, it's actually going to be larger because in each of these he rounded down. So he's expecting an answer around 210, but higher. He then goes through and does all of the calculations. So he has this all done right here, and you can just go ahead and double check his work. And he said, but you know what? I know that the answer needs to be around 210. So the only place that you could put a decimal, if this is the final answer, and this is what it looks like before you put the decimal point in, where would you place the decimal for it to actually look like it's close to 210? It could only go right there. So we're going to do that here. And remember, you can pause along the way as you need so that you can understand, catch up, write down, watch it again, whatever you need to do. Use Kenji's estimation strategy to insert a decimal point into each multiplication sentence to make the sentence true. 52 6/10 times 83 hundredths. Well, 52 6/10 is close to 50, and 83 hundredths, that's close to the whole number 1. So that gets me 50. Actually, I'm going to write this down here a little bit because I need some room to write in here and draw. So if this is the answer to this worked out in this format, where would the decimal point go? Our answer needs to be around 50. If it's here at the end, our answer is 43,000. If it's here, our answer is 4,365. If it's here, our answer is 436. If it's here, our answer is 43 and 658 thousandths. So that is the only logical spot right there for the decimal to go. You pause, please, and try the next two. Come back when you are finished. Okay, so to look at this next one, 7 9/10 is pretty close to 8. 6/10. If I did 8, that's going to go all the way up to the whole number 8. And I can see here that my answer has a 4 in the beginning. I don't even see an 8. So maybe I should just try rounding that to a half. Let's just go to a half on that one. So this is 8 times 1/2, or half of 8. Half of 8 is 40. But it's not just 8 times 5, right? It's 8 times 5/10. I'm sorry, it is not 40. 8 times 5 is 40, but it's not 8 times 5. Like I said, it's 8 times 5/10. So that is going to be a total of 4. A better way to think about it is half of 8 equals 4. That's literally what this says. 8 times a half is the same as half of 8. Okay, so if our answer is going to be around 4, and we have this 474 as our answer, the only possible place for the decimal is right there. Okay, lastly, 94 hundredths times 24 9/10. So 94 hundredths, that's pretty close to 1. And 24 9/10, that's really close to 25. So I know my answer is going to be around 25. So the only logical place for the decimal to go is right here, so that it would be 23 and 406 thousandths. Okay, moving on. Let's see. I'm actually going to pause this and do this page on another video because this page is lengthy, and I want this to be on another page so that it is not kind of buried in the middle of something in the other one. So if you're going to move on to page 138, hop on over to that video, please.